And we are live. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Earth 2's Comicast Star Trek Discovery discussion. Your boy Mo Crosby from Earth 2. Say what's up, Patrick.
What's up? We're right on time. Right on time.
This is for real black people time, Patrick. You get
more ways than one.
You're getting extra education in black people time. See, Patrick?
Oh my god.
I don't want to say nothing, but this goes deep because this is true in Africa as much as it isn't.
Anyways, it's myself, Patrick, and Anthony from Draw 4. Anthony, say what's up.
What's going on, people? I'm just gonna say I'm from Earth 2 Comicast now because I'm on old stuff to worth many basses now at this point. So I'm just gonna rep you everywhere I go, Mo.
That's what's up. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it from both these guys. Earth 2, I know you've missed us and you've missed our Star Trek Discovery discussions. We've missed it too, and I have missed these guys and I've missed talking about Star Trek with these guys. So yeah, we're gonna talk about episode 9, Into the Forest I Go. It's pretty simple. Bypassing Starfleet orders, Lorca uses the U.S.S. Discovery crew's ultimate asset, the ship itself, in an effort to the Klingons once and for all. So that's pretty much the synopsis. And if you watch the episode, again, this episode happened a couple weeks ago. So if you've watched the episode, you know the ins and outs of it. Into the episode and go straight into a breakdown of the episode. So I am going to ask the gentleman.
Do you know what the title of the episode means or what it's talking about?
Oh, so when I was going to ask you guys to break down the episode, if anyone knew what the title of the episode meant, to go in and educate. So
it's a John Muir quote, who is a Scottish author, and it's the first part of the quote though. The first part of the quote is "Into the forest I go," and the second part of the quote is "To lose my mind and find my soul."
Oh, I love that.
So that makes sense.
So it's into the forest I go to lose my
mind and find my soul. Yeah.
You know, I like that because one of the things to do if people are having trouble to reset themselves, intervention people are prescribed is to go camping because you kind of lose the rigors of time that you have in your everyday life, and you kind of reset your perspective on it's kind of reorient yourself. So I don't know if that made any sense, but it's really, I like that.
Actually, John Muir, that was like his whole thing. Like he was like the pioneer of us having things like national parks and stuff like that. He was always the one arguing that like we needed to preserve parts of America for going out and seeing rather than just developing. So it makes sense.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So that is an explanation of the title of the episode itself. So let's get into the
nerds
episode.
Are the people that keep me up to date on all the titles. I'm jealous of that level of nerddom because I've never paid attention to titles in anything.
Really?
It's like episode titles. No, I don't care about episode. Who direct episode? No, some things, maybe some really great episodes, maybe, but y'all.
You know what I always think better than the titles was those with the opening of Clone Wars, each episode, the like little crawl. I always like that even better.
That is true, the little quote or whatever.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. And what I'm saying is,
but I'll tell you
my level of nerddom that I've never paid attention. I got to go back to stuff I enjoyed. Get my game up, get my numbers up.
No, I'll tell you why I started paying attention to Star Trek Discovery episodes, because with the first one and the second episode than just with the episode titled The Vulcan Hello, right? It is something that ties directly into the episode. So I started paying more attention to it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
No, it does. Someone took the time to make a title, so it makes sense that it would help give you a better understanding of the show.
Exactly. And
all right, so how's this episode? How's this episode open? Because I can't. It's been a couple weeks, so I'm trying to remember how we start.
Oh, okay. Well, you're gonna ask me and embarrass me because I've forgotten also, because it's been a couple weeks. But I think it opened with on the Klingon ship, or did it open on Discovery?
There
was was this no? This was with Lorca talking to the admiral, the other admiral, the Klingon, the Vulcan admiral.
Yep.
When they were arguing about you need to, instead of going and try to stop or defend the planet, come back to what was the base again? Was base?
Oh, right,
the star base or whatever.
Oh, because we know the Klingons are
46.
coming. We know that signal was sent out, and the Klingons are coming.
Yes,
Okay, now it's
so
I knew I needed to just like orient myself.
And
So
then
yes.
instead of popping back or something, right? They said we got 3 hours to figure out something to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like we're gonna warp
So
back.
you're warping. Yeah. So instead of doing a jump, you warp back, and then
And it takes a
into
while.
this whole thing where it takes a while to warp, and so now we know that. Opinion, I think that the admiral was expecting Discovery to jump there because it's like, hey, we know you can get there in like 20 minutes or 20 seconds, so back to base and we'll figure it out from there. Lorca says no, instead we'll warp back, and so they come up with this really complex plan. We'll warp back, and they come up with the plan. We're gonna jump, was it 300 plus times to map the ship?
Yeah.
So
go on.
The original plan.
Yeah. So they came up with this plan they're gonna do a bunch of, because they needed to figure out how cloaking works. They need to figure out they could track it some way, right? Find the flaw in the cloaking system.
They were gonna set beacons on the ship.
So they're going to set beacons on the ship, and they were going to jump around those beacons to get a relative positioning of the beacon.
Really stealthy, big neon blue glowing.
Seriously, those are like the worst. Like, come on, Starfleet. You can tell Starfleet doesn't know what they're doing in the military. Those.
Yes.
Come on. We have GPS trackers that are like that big, like fit in your cell phone. And they got these
2015. Exactly.
But you know what it is? It's an old trope of television where the audience doesn't know. They assume the audience doesn't know this is a tracker unless it does the beep, 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 beep. Where really no stealthy tracker would do that, because especially on a dark ship. Those blue lights were the brightest thing in that environment.
They were.
And,
but yeah, so they do actually sneak onto the ship and set the
Michael can do anything.
Yeah. Well, they didn't want to send her. They didn't want to send her.
No, Lorca, because he loves her.
Wait, but are we skipping? We're skipping over a really important part, I think. And I think the really important part before they jump and everything, that conversation with Lorca and Stamets is like because that's when they establish that basically Lorca is using all these jumps to build a map, not within the current universe, but to alternate universes,
the multiverse and crap.
Yeah. Yes. So, which you're right. Thank you for bringing us back to that.
Big
deal. How do you pronounce the engineer's name again? Stamets. Stamets wasn't even mapping that stuff. That was amazing.
No, he was like, "What is this?" And like, I mean, it was smart of Lorca to like kind of dangle that carrot in front of him too, because like,
which
knowing what we now know about Stamets, there's no way he could say no to the idea of being able to explore all universes and all times.
I wonder if it's a natural curiosity by the captain, or whether this was always going to be a manipulation card he had holding, because like he just won his loyalty. Like his loyalty is I know what he said about going back and all that stuff, but like he gained a new respect for that man.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, honestly, I think it was a manipulation tactic. I think Lorca knew who his engineer was, and he knew how to talk to him, and he knew how to get him. Because it's one thing to, Patrick said he dangled low-hanging fruit. He's like he knew his curiosity would get the better of him, and that's how he was able to get him to do the jumps.
Can I say something again? Oh, sorry.
Go on.
Go ahead.
Again, this gives us something that this crew knows about that the original Star Trek crew doesn't know about.
I think we're gonna get to that. I think there's a reason.
Okay.
So I mean, when we get to the end, we can talk about that, because
what they know. Yeah. Okay.
Let's keep moving through the episode, because the end is really where we got to unpack a bunch.
Moving through the episode, so we get that conversation. Was it at the end of the conversation where even after Stamets had said, "Yes, I'll do those jumps, but after that, I'm going. I'm done. I'm going to go get studied." Was it at the end of that?
I think he basically says that, and then he further says it later on the when they're standing in front of the cargo bay.
Before the jump, he talks to his boyfriend and he goes, "Hey, don't worry. Right after this, and we get to base. I'm getting off. I'm getting off the ship.
I'm done. Yeah,
I'm done. And we're gonna and then he
That's like
mentioned the theater.
classic. That's like classic. One more case before I retire.
And,
You're like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Anything about Star Trek, it's not going to be that easy. Like it's too easy for him to say we're done.
Yeah, the minute that he said that, I was like,
oh, you're gonna die. I was like, he's gonna die in this episode. I thought for sure Stamets was gonna die in this episode. And I think that's
thought
why
they were gonna retire him.
Once we fast forward to the ship actually doing the jumps and them being on the Klingon ship, like every single jump, I think this episode was beautifully choreographed because I really felt like Stamets, the actor, was Anthony Rapp or whatever. Like he really showed his range because I felt like every single jump. Like
I gotta say, if you put his acting ability up there, for this crew, I gotta say overall, this crew probably has the best acting chops of any Star Trek series that I can think of. Like pound for pound.
Yes, I mean, come on, it's
especially like I would say some of the best non-verbal acting. They are very good at body language, things,
expressing what's going on.
Yep, I agree with that.
This is one of the better episodes for me because when we get to the Klingon ship, drop the first tracker, and we're about to go drop the second tracker, and in this room because somehow they found human bio signs, and we got human bio signs. We gotta, we gotta check it out. Ash is like, no, we don't. Let's just. It's like I don't care about these human bio signs. Like that's not why I'm here. I'm here to complete a mission, and we're gonna complete the mission.
Yeah.
So they go into that room and they find first things first, they find all these dead Klingon bodies, and second, they find the Admiral. L'Rell comes up to Ash and
then we get crazy flashback insanity.
You gave right after the episode, we had to go see Justice League the next day, and I'm in line to go see Justice League with Anthony, and Anthony said something because of the flashbacks. What were your thoughts on that, Anthony?
Oh, okay. Let me see. Let me go back. Justice League has kind of been in my mind. That the flashbacks pretty much confirmed the fact that Ash is the albino Klingon. Also, it was a flashback that got me the wrong. I can't actually use the words I want to use right now.
I love it when your daughter's there.
That was not the groundbreaking.
That's not what you wanted?
That was not the groundbreaking scene for Star Trek that I wanted. And if we were to get those with Klingons,
wrong set.
I did not want these Klingons to break that one. I wanted my old Klingons to break
Yeah, I feel you.
Hey, Patrick, is your thing Baba Yaga?
What do you think about that scene?
What? No, it's not Baba Yaga, but that's funny that you would think that.
Oh, yeah, I see. There's
a whole story with that. I'll tell it another time.
All right.
Isn't it a treehouse? Okay, so Patrick, what is your thoughts on those flashbacks?
I don't understand why there's so much debate now as to whether people are still debating whether Vok is Ash, but I thought it was really clear in those flashbacks because they show like blades and stuff cutting into his face and stuff, don't they?
Yeah. Anthony said there's surgery.
I don't know why
surgery.
So I don't know why people are arguing over that. I think it's very clear now that he's Vok. I also think though that he may be a sleeper agent. That's my new thing. I don't think he knows he's Vok. That's what's changed. So he doesn't know.
All right. So we're talking to Mo. I was like, you know what? I forgot there were so many Star Trek stories about sleeper agents and just easily changing facial recognition stuff, and so they might not know it. And I was like, torture and surgery could look awful lot alike, especially I don't think Klingons are big on what is it?
Anesthesia.
So
you just take it.
I'm sure that I could seem like torture in a human mindset flashback. The thing that Mo brought up though was that because I was like, it still doesn't sit well with me that he's integrated in human culture like this. But Mo brought up that they could have just replaced an Ash they did take prisoner.
Yeah.
And that would make
Yes.
sense to having a background and you know what I'm saying, like a
Yeah, well,
background.
there's a
And
lot of dead bodies on those ships too.
yeah,
So it's possible they like somehow downloaded some brain knowledge or who knows what. Like, I mean, there better be some explanations, but I am more convinced now that he's a sleeper agent. And also that makes sense for the sex scenes as well, that maybe that was like
consensual.
That wasn't torture, but consensual, but now his memories make it think it was torture, right?
Right.
Who knows? It opens up a lot of questions, but I don't think there's any doubt now that they're the same.
And then he's not suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. He's actually having repressed memories come back up.
Right.
And that's what's freezing him.
Yeah.
Which also I think makes for a more interesting... I was kind of struggling with the whole Ash's Vok thing, because it was just... I don't know. I was struggling with a buy-in. There's a much more emotional buy-in. I can get a much more emotional buy-in for a sleeper agent who thinks he's fully loyal to Starfleet, and then he finds out he's a Klingon. Like, that's an interesting story to tell.
That's some of the best of Battlestar Galactica. That's some of the best of that. The new Battlestar Galactica, the sleeper agent type stuff. The who's a silent, who's not.
Yep.
Silent and who isn't. Yeah, that's what makes Battlestar Galactica really, really great to me, because it's, you know, every other episode you're saying, oh wait, are you or aren't you? You know, you look, or you know, it's that's what set Battlestar Galactica on that Voq is Ash. So we found Voq, right? Okay,
and then we go to the bridge, right? And basically Ash is set up to protect the Admiral, and then we go to the bridge of Michael trying to, which is kind of ridiculous. We go to the bridge with Michael trying to set up that last beacon, like under a desk somewhere. Like, what is that all about?
a completely dark room with a strobe light. Just it doesn't make any goddamn sense. I get it. It's a visual medium.
Why did she reveal herself again? What eventually?
Because they were about to leave.
Yes, they were gonna jump because they couldn't find the Discovery, or they couldn't fight the Discovery, so they were gonna jump and
they wouldn't get all the data. Now, Patrick, let me see if this makes more sense to you. Because I was telling Mo this doesn't make any sense. If you have enough capability to beam on board the enemy ship with devices, those could have just been bombs. You could have disabled the ship.
They definitely could have been bombs.
You could have disabled the ship, took the cloaking device back with you, had Starfleet study it all they want.
No, they definitely could have been bombs. It doesn't make a lot of sense that they weren't bombs. I thought of that too. I haven't totally figured out.
This is my counter. This is my counter argument. It's a ship. It's a ship full of Klingons. We're all at this point. We're all scared of Klingons, right? So,
you just teleport. No, you just teleport some photon torpedoes on there, and then boom. I agree.
You disable the ship, tow it back to Starfleet. I don't care how.
I think they made a narrative mistake there. If I was doing it, I would have added them noticing the human life sign before they beamed over.
Yes.
Okay.
And that would cause them not to do it because he said it was the Admiral.
Yep.
And
how cool
the 300 jumps made it seem like they wanted to use that technology in the show. Like, let's do these jumps again.
That's what I'm about to say. You look cooler if they did that.
Oh yeah, no, I'm on board with that. I just need a narrative reason for why we're going through all this, I guess. And I guess they figured it out long ahead of time. It was just kind of odd that they were doing that rather than beaming.
And also, if this show was supposed to be an anthology series, for them to tow the ship back, because having the ship. Would you want them to to show more of season one would end? Season one would end, and you wouldn't need any answers as to why. That's what I feel about it. Yeah. So she reveals herself and buys the Discovery more time.
Yep.
She happens to notice that what's his name? What's the new
Cole. Yep. Cole.
He has Shenzhou. What's her name? Captain Giorgio's name tag.
Yeah, so how's it gotta end in a sci-fi? In a fist fight. Gotta have a fist fight.
An unnecessary fist fight. A fist fight that he should have won.
Well, why didn't he win it? Go ahead, Mo, say it.
Only time that I'll admit it. episode she didn't win.
She did do a lot of like fainting and ducking rather than throwing punches, though, right? If I remember correctly, there was a lot more of her dodging than like kicking his butt. I mean, I need to think back, but I don't remember her being able to.
Did she get an arm hold on him a couple times, or she was tagging him?
No. One arm hold.
Besides, Cole's a wuss.
A lot more than she was fighting. So Anthony, you know what? Take that back.
Oh, you go.
But anyway, she bought the. I think no, because she wasn't trying to fight with him. She was trying to buy discovery time. That's what she was trying to do.
Right. That's how I took it too.
I
actually agree with that. I took it as she wasn't trying to win as much as she was trying to buy time. So, because she had already set up the beacon, so she knew she was just like stalling.
She knew what was going on from discovery. I think
the nature of the fight, and it didn't even look like it looked like if she had to fight him to win, she would have lost. But instead, I remember the fight as being lots of dodging and like her just trying to keep it going.
Yeah. Take that back, Anthony. I take it all the way back.
Because ultimately she did. Ultimately she had to run away. She had to jump.
She jumped.
She was going to get killed.
All right.
She was going down.
Let's go back.
One man army Michael goes into Klingon territory with big flares for
I'm saying she was going to go down.
Her versus a ship of Klingons.
I was surprised by the way that Discovery was like.
She hasn't earned a reversal of her court martial.
I was surprised Discovery was fine with beaming all these people over too.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go back.
Where do you pick these guys up?
Right? No.
Go hold. So we're back at the.
If Lorca had known it was the Admiral, he might have left her.
Yeah.
He might have left.
Alive though, right?
Yeah.
Because Ash kind of snapped out of whatever his freeze on time to fight. To help. Dispatch the Klingons. So we're back on Discovery, obviously, so, Michael snatches, did she give the name tag to Saru? I wasn't sure.
Yes.
Yeah, she did, yeah.
She gave it to Saru, right?
Yep. And it seemed like a bonding moment between the two of them. Like they had come to somewhat peace with each other is a good way I would put it.
So their beef is
everybody loves her again.
Oh no! No, I'll say maybe this crew of the Discovery and the Admiral love her, so that's about it.
Yeah.
But we get back to so now we're back in engineering, and Stamets walks out of the the thing. I think that's where he told his boyfriend, "Yeah, we're done, and we're gonna go when we get on base." Yeah. And like, yeah, let's just walk back to base. And Stamets is like, "No. It's fine. Let's do this."
Oh yeah, you're talking about the scene with Stamets and him on the. By the way, that was a beautiful scene.
Beautifully shot. The background was beautiful. It looked really great, and I think that's where, I'm at. This is where the captain had come to him and said, "Okay, we're gonna warp," and he's like, "No," and then
he's like, "You did enough. You did enough. You served us well. Like we can take a warp back."
He knows the game he's playing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Lorca definitely knows the game he's playing. That's what I'm saying. Like, it didn't surprise me that Lorca showed him, these are all the jumps we've plotted, and this is it didn't surprise me at all. Like, we're starting to see how manipulative Lorca is, and I think even before that we saw that.
So here's the thing. So now we
jump.
Yeah, we jump.
Ash and
something surprisingly goes wrong. There was no foreshadowing to this.
Ash and Michael. Ash and Michael share a moment. She comes over to his room and she's like, "Is everything okay with you? Like, are you gonna tell me what happened?" He said something too. It was like, man, this, he thought that she was gonna give him some booty.
Yeah, they copped out on that one. He should have, because that way it's gonna sting even more when she finds out.
Yes.
That she gave
when she finds out, right?
So yeah, that was an intense. But that was a really intense scene when
heartfelt.
When Ash faces Laurel and he just like buckles down.
Yeah, and she says to him, "Don't worry, I won't let anyone hurt you." And that was so. If Flashback didn't tell you that point should have told you this is Vogue, because it's like, she proclaims to him that she's not going to let anyone hurt him. This human so much. Anyway, so we get past that to take the last jump. Stamets gets in there and they jump to be, but they're not there. They're in some other alternate universe. And I think Saru says, "Sir, this is where the base is supposed to be, but we're not here." And that's where the episode ends.
And there was Klingon wreckage, apparently.
Yeah,
right?
they get there and there's Klingon wreckage.
Yes. So, and
So there's a
Stamets is
couple
like,
of
I can see
things
everything.
here.
I can see his eyes are different. And
Whose eyes are? Wait, what?
Stamets, when he came out the
Oh yeah, he's like blind. He's blind.
Yes, he's blind, exactly. But he says, I can see everything.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know, and no one knows what's going on. Is that the future, or is that the present, or is that another timeline, or is that, is that a different universe? We don't know.
Well,
so
we know there was
one thing we do know, because somebody like spied in on it, is that Lorca is the one who changed the jump to this alternate dimension.
Really?
Yeah, so somebody zoomed in on the screenshot and you can see basically when they're jumping, Lorca types into his computer for a manual override to a new destination.
Oh,
Patrick, if you have that screenshot, send it to me.
Yep, I will. So we know that Lorca initiates the jump into this alternate place, alternate universe, as we are assuming, but alternate place.
Good catch.
So good catch.
So again, what game is he playing?
Right. Or he just doesn't want to go back.
Or is this something where he had to get rid of Stamets because he doesn't want that knowledge to get off the ship? Because right now, if I understand, this is pretty much like how it actually works is contained to them, right? Like, so the rest of Starfleet knows about the jump. They don't have the component of how they're able to jump, right? Because they're keeping this a secret.
Yeah, the rest of Starfleet doesn't know that they've injected a human being with the
right.
So
and that's the thing. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. Narratively, they have to do this. That's my opinion. Yes. Narratively, the reason this is happening is because if they go back, the war is basically over, it seems like. And if they go back, then Lorca loses his ship, Michael goes to jail, Stamets goes to jail, or to like that crazy, like the loony bin, basically, for people who are modified, remember, from Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
The doctor, I can't think of his name right now, but he basically gets debarred. He can't practice being a doctor anymore. So we have set up narratively, basically, for all these people to lose their role and position in the story. And I think Lorca A knows that, so that's one reason he's doing what he's doing. And B, just like, I don't think we're coming back to this universe until the end of the show, if ever. I think we just entered Star Trek Discovery sliders, because I think now we can't return to the universe we started in, because the moment we do, there's ramifications for all these characters.
And they did kind of clean up. They did kind of clean up, because right now there is no head of the Klingon Empire. Their beacon ship is gone.
No, there is. It's not gone.
No, but the head of the Klingon Empire is
gone.
Oh, I guess and they know how to. Yeah, it's gone. You're right, because they blew it up. So
they blew it up.
Oh,
yeah,
they blew up the ship.
Yeah.
The ship is dead.
Go back and watch that.
Yeah, the ship is dead.
And the guy blew up after Michael
was dead. Like, there's no leader of the Klingon Empire. So basically, you're right. The Klingon war narrative is like wrapped up. And now, so my opinion is this was the pilot. So basically, the last 9 episodes were almost like that first 2-episode arc of Voyager, or first 2-episode arc of Deep Space Nine when we first discover the wormhole. Like, basically, the pilot is we have this ship that can jump through dimensions and through time. And now you can do some of your anthology story arcs like you were always planning to do, just with the same crew. So we can jump to Deep Space Nine. We can jump to like Borg. We can jump to like Enterprise era. We can jump to times we've only imagined or dreamed of. There can be alternate dimensions. We can jump to like the cinematic universe world. Like, it doesn't matter. So now Discovery suddenly opens up to be able to just be basically Star Trek as sliders.
Oh my gosh, I would love if that's true. But I
So
do know
that'd
that,
be so
that Paramount
awesome.
doesn't own all the rights to Star Trek, though. Like the rights are split, so I don't know what they can do and what they
Yeah,
can't do.
I actually don't think they can do the cinematic universe because of that, but I think everything
Yeah,
else
they
they
can't do something.
have.
Yeah, everything else
Everything
they
else
do.
they have.
How cool to
Because
go
the cinematic
to
universe
meet
is
because in the books Ben Sisko came back, but that's the books, they don't count. Well, how cool to be if they go into the Temple of the Prophets and Sisko's still there or something. You know what I mean?
Well, and
Or
one theory is that Lorca is the place he took them to right up off the bat is some timeline where he can save his crew.
oh,
wow.
because he's been mapping all these stuff. Oh,
Yep,
that's beautiful.
he's trying to
Oh, this
save
is
the people
so
that he
awesome.
killed.
It's a better Legends.
This is so awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that would actually be
Wow.
so. Right off the bat, guys, can we say this is probably the best for all? I know I complain about some things. I know that some things kind of don't sit right with me, but can we pretty much say this is probably the best first half of a first season of a Star Trek series?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
For first
I agree
season,
with you.
absolutely.
Yeah,
There may be a couple of episodes where some things kind of fell off, but this, I think, stuff fell off in the episode. There's been a steady consistency in terms of elevation, in terms of just watchability, because all these episodes I can go back and sit through them again.
And
Oh,
when
I
you
plan
see
to.
this as a pilot, it totally changes your point of view, even about knowing about the characters and the crew and everything. They're just building up.
Yeah.
It'd be like if you took that first 2 episodes of Voyager and spread it over 9 episodes rather than 2 episodes, right?
Right.
Which would make more sense. And you know what else? So you were saying that this wasn't going to be the crew, like this was going to be a contained story, and they were going to a different crew. So I
Yeah.
wonder if the break and the wrong time period between this season and next season, whether they're refitting some of the storylines and some of the things they had going
Yeah,
on.
it could be.
Actually, it comes back. It comes back in January, to be fair.
Yeah, but
No,
I
but
think more season 2 could be that. But yeah.
That's what I mean. Like
Season one,
because
Yeah, it is
is
a
pretty
long
much,
break.
I
It's
think,
like
in the books.
2
Maybe
years before we
maybe
get to season 2.
right. So if you have that long break, if you've decided that you want to keep this crew, like next season, the next half of the season, that's a few tweaks in editing. That's
Yeah.
a few, like, you know what I mean? Like you can edit a scene to present a different way, and then maybe do
Right.
something to change the ending of the season.
Yep.
And then retool for this going forward, because I don't think they thought it was going to be as good as it is. I didn't think it was going to be as good as it is.
Well, they didn't know how well it'd be received is a big part of it. It was a big risk. I mean, doing online only and all that.
There were
kind of
reports
stuff.
that they were nervous before this came out. Before this aired, there was a lot of things that they were nervous about this.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, for all my faults, for Michael Twink evolution to Mary Sue soon, and a friend of mine was talking to today. I was out there and they were like, "Oh, there's some Twink characters you enjoy." And I was like, "That's true. You can enjoy a Twink. You can enjoy a Mary Sue." It was it was actually Tess Patrick, and when I talked, she said the same thing.
Yeah.
But if I submitted this character to a Patrick game, it would have got turned down so quick. Yeah. So I don't know. Like I enjoyed this episode. I've enjoyed the roller coaster of the season. Even being proven wrong in some aspects has been more enjoyable to me than being proven. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm continuing to be wrong, that they can make this go. You know what I mean?
I think they're doing a really good job.
I think
every time I have a concern, every time I'm concerned about this in Star Trek Discovery, I feel like the next episode addresses that concern directly.
Right.
So I feel like they're doing a really good job.
No, they are. I hope moving forward we get more of a crew-based show.
I think what you could have, if they're like stuck in these other universes, like L'Rell might just become a part of the cast. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yo.
Because I've noticed in interviews with her, they keep treating her like she's like more important than any of the other Klingons, which didn't make a lot of sense to me before.
But
if she's like on Discovery as they're sliding around, suddenly it makes a lot more sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
What's the second in command on Voyager that like was part of the Maquis, but he becomes? Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. So also she has more insight to the Klingon Empire, and to see where the Klingon Empire goes forward in this is a totally different Klingon Empire than she's actually in now. and that could be really interesting. Plus, she's probably more informed about human culture and stuff like that than any other kind of Klingon would be, except for Ash now. But
yeah, I mean, for her,
yeah,
that's what I was gonna say. For her,
if they teleport at different times, do you want this aesthetic or this style to be the style that we see in every other era?
So that's a lot of people think maybe we'll eventually jump to a timeline where it looks like 60s era Star Trek. Do you know what I mean?
And I think if that's the case,
or 90s at this point, 90s is kind of
90s,
too.
yeah. You can do all that stuff now, and it doesn't feel ham-fisted. It kind of like works, right?
I would hope if you do jump to a time period or a time era, you know, for like if you go back to the TOS, keep the aesthetics of TOS. I would hope that, you know, it looks and feels like, I mean, you want to hold on alienate those people. You don't want to change. I think
part of the reason you want to do that is because Deep Space Nine already time traveled back there and they kept those aesthetics. Like they've had opportunities to do an update and they didn't really. Although I gotta tell you, I think I sent it to you guys. Somebody did like a CGI re-rendering of the Enterprise bridge. Like they took scenes of the original Enterprise bridge, but then they put like some CGI green screening or whatever to change the controls so they looked more modern, and it was slick looking. It was just like the current set, like the original set, but with better like displays and stuff in the background.
All right,
I mean, if you can do that, I'm all for it. Yeah, no.
But,
we're about to close either way.
Have you seen the updated one on Netflix where they updated the CGI for the ships and everything like that? And it's still the same style, but it's updated graphics. You can explain the well, no, because Enterprise is going on right now where the one is. I'd be up for either way. I'd be excited to see a reimagining of.
You what that want to see a reimagining?
Yeah. Well, you gotta think the movies have been a reimagining. So you guys,
I was gonna say, like the Enterprise,
but the movies
they are on the original Enterprise in Star Trek: The Motion Picture. They're on the original Enterprise in Star Trek: The Motion Picture, and that bridge already looks different than what was on the TV show.
So I mean, at some point we gotta say we got better graphics.
Yeah.
At some point we gotta say this came out in the 70s or 60s, whatever 60s.
60s.
Yeah. You gotta just say, hey, we appreciate it. We've paid enough homage because we've shown it in Next Generation. We've showed that old bridge. In Deep Space Nine, they traveled back to it, which is a great episode of Deep Space Nine. I love that. It's one of my favorite episodes of Deep Space Nine. You've paid enough homage, but at this time, I think that you can keep. No, I'm sorry. Instead of keeping it exact, you can pay homage to it. You know what I mean? Like keep the bridge. Placements the same, or keep the thing where Spock looks into it, like they did in Enterprise, right? They had the same thing where the science officer would look into this little, you know what I'm talking about? Spock.
Yeah, totally. The little scoops or whatever you would look at. Yeah, I know.
Right. Like they kept that. We got to take face fact. Like my aunts got me in the Star Trek, and they're pushing their 60s at this point, right?
Yeah.
And it's the same thing as, you know, we didn't want the same Batmobile from the 60s Adam West one. We wanted something that pays homage to it, to get that little rocket thing in the back. They've all had that little jet engine thing in the back, but it's updated.
Yeah, every Batmobile.
And that's the first one I've seen from the 60s one, right? So as long as it's the same thing, and I know, Mo, you hate when I do the same thing when I talk about the giving me some aspects of the character I can latch on to. That same thing with the ship. If I can feel that that's the Enterprise, if I feel that that's a ship James Kirk would be on, and you pay a little hint to it, I'm good. Because right now,
so much of Discovery's aesthetics, when I look at it, look like the Enterprise refit. So I don't know why you don't just look at the motion picture bridge. Like it's not the refit bridge, but you take the motion picture bridge and you say, look, that was the same Enterprise, and just go with that. So that's my opinion.
We have questions. We hope to get answers coming January for the rest of the season.
Big questions. Holy cow.
Yes, a lot of questions, and we hope to get answers. I want to thank everyone for watching. Questions that you want us to answer, just go ahead and drop some comments down below. I will either Patrick and Anthony and get those answers to you. Next year, you know, finish out Star Trek Discovery with you guys. Obviously, we love talking about it, you can tell. and we love coming here to we love making these videos for you. So I want to thank Patrick again. I want to thank Anthony for taking some time.
Oh man, was that shade? Was that shade?
No,
no
shade.
No.
I'm glad we were able to.
No,
I really
honestly,
wanted to do this finale with more than just me and Mo because I knew there was a lot to talk about.
And I really wanted Anthony on here because when he said what he said at at the premiere for Justice League, I was like, yeah, we have to talk about this on camera. So I really do appreciate having you guys on here. Really, I appreciate it. Thank you guys very much because you guys have made Star Trek Discovery even more fun for me because I think doing these discussions have made us pay more attention to the show.
Yeah,
I agree that Mo, you and Patrick, to keep me like, you know what? I gotta be setting my Star Trek lore. I gotta these episode names.
I cannot wait until we do a Star Wars episode with Anthony and Kyle at the same time.
That's what I'm saying. It's gonna be really
great. That's gonna be like some Jedi Academy. You're gonna walk in as a novice and walk out able to float rocks and shit.
Really,
Patrick, I told him or to make it even a different cast that we have the most comprehensive Star Wars Rebel and Star Trek Discovery chats on YouTube, and I will challenge anybody. I'll challenge anybody.
And I think in one of our older episodes, someone had commented and said, "Yo, this is the Star Trek Discovery that makes sense. The Star Trek Discovery discussion that makes sense." I'm going to subscribe, and we got a subscriber off that. We've gotten subscribers off this. I mean, so I really thank you guys for doing this for me again with me. It's made Star Trek really fun. To Anthony from Earth 2, thank you very much. I hope every one of you that watches has a very enjoys the rest of your holidays and has a very wonderful new year. We will see you next year for Star Trek Discovery episode 10. From myself, from Patrick, and from Anthony.
Can't wait.
Can't wait.
Sundays aren't the same. They aren't the same.
Right?
They're definitely not the same
on Sundays. I feel like if we're not watching it together, we're talking about what.
I mean, this episode it was like every commercial break. I was like, "What just happened?"
So 2018.
It's 2018. So you guys see how excited we are to do this for you, and we appreciate you guys and the feedback we get from you. So please, so I think for the Star Wars movie, we need to get that group together.
Yep, we should schedule it now and then make sure everybody can be there.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Well.
All right. Peace, guys.
All right. Bye.
Peace.